is just around the corner, so I thought it would be really fun to shoot a new getting ready for summer video. I've created a few of these kind of videos before because I love to live my life alongside the changing seasons. So for this video, I definitely want to do some planning, especially when it comes to updating my routines. I've got a couple of things that I want to add to my summer wardrobe, so we'll probably go thrift shopping. And of course, I'll be sharing the books I'm most looking forward to reading in the coming season. In every season, I like to implement healthy habits to look after my physical and mental health. That's why I'm really pleased to be partnering with Ritual again on this video, as their women's multivitamin has become a really important part of my morning routine. I love that Ritual have created a multivitamin that I can really trust and has been especially formulated for women between the ages of 18 and 49 to help support key nutrient needs. Their multivitamin is of course 100% vegan, and each capsule contains clean, high quality ingredients that are fully traceable, so I know exactly what I'm putting into my body. As a vegan in particular, I'm really conscious to make sure I'm getting all of the nutrients I require, and I love that I can get them in one place with these capsules. So if you would like to try Ritual yourself, you can use the code HippieHighland25 that I'll include with the link in my description, or scan the QR code that I'll put on screen now to get 25% off your first order with Ritual. And as an extra reassurance, if you don't like your products within the first 30 days of receiving them, then your first order is on them. Thank you very much to Ritual for sponsoring this portion of the video, and now I'm going to get into some planning. So I've just been going through my Notion planner, my slow living planner that I also sell on my Etsy store. So link that below in case you guys are interested, and been reviewing my routines because, like I say, I like to live my life in line with the changing seasons, and obviously now we're coming into summer, we're going to have a lot more lights, especially in the mornings, which is really wonderful. So I've been reviewing my summer morning routine. My evening routines are a lot more fluid. I'm not too strict with my evening routines, but I do like to be quite intentional when it comes to my morning routine. I really like to start my day in a way that is, you know, productive and healthy, but also really enjoyable. So I think the main thing I've done is I've shifted my walk with Sky earlier in the morning. So I used to, in the winter, I'll do, you know, I'll take her out into the garden and everything, but I'll delay her main walk until mid-morning because obviously it's dark. But now it's light enough to go earlier. I think I'm going to be doing that. I'm also conscious that we get quite hot summers now, and as she's getting older, I want to make sure that she's never put under too much pressure with the heat. So going earlier also serves that, and it also means that my routine I'm really happy with at the moment. I think that's partly because I change it. I think if I had the same exact morning routine all year round, I'd get a bit bored, I'd get a bit stagnant. So having a refresh at least twice a year, you know, spring, summer, autumn, winter, is really nice. And it means I've just prioritised really important things to me, but things that like can get left by the wayside. You know, I'm not starting my work day much before 8:30 or even 9 now, whereas I used to start it at like 7ish. So instead, if you're interested, in the morning, I'm an early bird, so I get up about 5:15 on a weekday anyway. And what I've done, which is really lovely, is I go straight back to bed. Once I've made my breakfast and read for the first half an hour of the day. It's a nice soft way to start the day. And I'm also better exercising when I've got something in my tummy, so I then do my workout. So that can be a Pilates or more of a HIIT workout for like 20 to 30 minutes. Get myself together, and then I take Sky out and she does her main walk at that time, so we're out for about an hour. And I like to do some nature writing. I talked about my nature diary in my Substack, so I'll link that video down below in case you want to check it out. So it means I can do my nature writing when I'm out and about, and also means I've got another section of my Notion where I write that up when I come back. So the writing is something I really want to prioritise, and writing just for either long-term projects or just for the sake of writing itself is something I really want to do more. So having that again and prioritising in the morning means I'm definitely going to get it done, and then I make myself a cup of tea and start work. So it just feels very balanced. It feels very right for me anyway. I think all morning routines are unique, and every morning is not exactly the same for me. Even though I've got a routine, it depends on my energy levels and what I've got going on in the day. It's lovely to have some ballpark guidelines of how I would ideally like to start my day. So to be honest, I'm not a massive summer person. I'm definitely more of an autumn winter girly, but I'm determined to enjoy summer this year, and this is already making me more excited for it. So I've just had my hair done. Done a bit of a glow up for the summer. I decided to go for more of a shorter bob and a little bit of an angled bob. So you have to let me know what you guys think. You've probably already seen this because I think I'm gonna have to edit this vlog in a really wonky order, so you've probably already seen my hair, but I don't know if I would have mentioned it. But yeah, just thought that'd be a fun thing to do. And now I'm gonna head into town because I really want to find a couple more summer bits in my wardrobe, so I thought I'd go around the charity shops. I might look for a dress of some kind, and then there's maybe a summery top, and one of those two things. I've kind of been looking for that since like the winter. I might look in M&S as well if I don't find anything. It's not the end of the world. I do have enough stuff in my wardrobe, but this would like a little bit more, so I thought I would take you guys along with me and see what we find. So I'm back at the tiny home now and thought I would share you the dress I got. £4, what a bargain. I'll go back so you can see. So it's kind of like just above the knee, and it's got really deep pockets. You can see sky as well, which is always amazing. I have no idea what brand it's from, or even what size it is, or what it's made from, because it's got no labels. Just the previous owners obviously cut out all the labels, but it feels really nice. It feels like a nice thick cotton, and I always check like all the seams and stuff to see if there's like too much wear, all these kind of things I do when I go thrift shopping. But yeah, it's in really good condition, and admittedly it is not a summer dress, although actually it's fairly lightweight, so I could probably wear this like in the evenings or on cooler days. Like I live in Scotland, so like it's cold here quite a lot even in the summer, but it's going to be absolutely perfect for autumn. I think when you're charity shopping, you know, 9 times out of 10 I come back with nothing, so when I do see something that fits all my criteria, because I am really picky about what I bring into my wardrobe, even if it's not for the right season, I do tend to get it. So yeah, really chuffed with this one. Looks great with my hair as well, a little bit of a summer glow up. So I'm just about to make myself some lunch. I thought I would take you guys out to the greenhouse to give you an update on my growing. So I shared this weird gardening project in a recent vlog, my productive weekend vlog, so I'll link that down below in case you didn't see it. But essentially I've got some salad going on up here. The lettuce I planted first. As you can see, this is going great, so I'm going to harvest some of this for my lunch today. And then I planted up some seeds I got from the garden centre, so this is like a mix of like a spicy kind of lettuce salad leaf mix, and then some spinach there. So that's what I've got for my edibles, and then I've got my sunflowers. Oh, apart from my chives, got my chives down here as well. They're also going strong. And yeah, I would encourage, even if you've got a little bit of space, to grow your own greens, because it's really actually quite easy to do, and it's lovely to have fresh greens in the summer. So I'm going to put together what I call a Nourish bowl, which is my go-to lunch in the summer months, because it's really quick and easy. You can adapt it to anything you like or anything you have that needs eating up, and it's a great way to use my summer greens as well. So try and just mix in a load of yummy plant-based elements. I've got some squash that I had left over from a recipe and I'm currently roasting in the air fryer. And then for my grain, I cooked up some quinoa yesterday, so this is a great form of food prep, so I can have some of this. Protein wise, I'm gonna have some kidney beans. They're one of my favourite beans, and I just have them as they are cold, but you can also like fry them up with spices to give a bit more flavour. I've got my lettuce, and then I'll probably add in some tomatoes as well, maybe some beetroot, although that might be a little bit much today with the amount of like acidic-y things I have. I like to sprinkle over some seeds, so I've got some sunflower seeds here from some extra proteins and fats and stuff. And then I made myself a wee dressing. So this was inspired by a recipe, I've forgotten the creator's name, but I'll link her down below. She's a YouTuber and she's vegan and does really good plant-based recipes, especially like her kind of Nourish bowls. So this dressing is, I've adapted it anyway to be 1 tub of hummus, and then juice of half a lime, a teaspoon of maple syrup, and half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of ground ginger, depending on how much of that you want. And then you literally just mix it together. I also added in a little bit of water. I think I probably added in like a teaspoon to a tablespoon of water just to like thin it out a little bit. And it's honestly really, really yummy. It's not the kind of ingredients I would think, especially the ginger, to put with hummus, but it works really well. So I'm going to put this together now. I'm pretty excited because I'm getting hungry. So my presentation is probably not that beautiful, but it works. It tastes really good. This dressing though, it's amazing. So good. I feel like it's been a minute since I chatted books with you guys. I might be wrong. I can't remember what I've uploaded recently. I think it's because I love how I'm wearing like fluffy slippers and then a summery outfit. The weather doesn't know what it's doing today, so I'm like wearing a bit of a weird assemblage. Yeah, I chat more book stuff on my Substack basically. That's where I've kept a lot of that kind of content. So if you do want more book stuff, then feel free to check out my Substack. There's a combination of stuff on there that's like freely accessible, and there's stuff that I make just for my paid members. And I will shortly be shooting, and it might be published by the time this video comes out, I'm not sure. I'll shortly be shooting my review of all of my spring readings. That's where I shoot a video and I go through every single book I read and give my thoughts on it and like a review. It's genuinely like one of my most favourite bits of content I produce. It's so much fun just to talk about books for like half an hour. I'll either link that one down below or I'll link my Rinto reading one if that one's not out yet. But anyway, I've got a selection. This isn't all of my summer reading, but I thought it's a good overview and it's one of the favourite things that I am keen to read this summer. And if you don't know and you're new to my channel, I do tend to try and read seasonally. So that means I read books that are relevant for each season. But as I always say, some of these books, a lot of the books I can read in any season, a strict rule. But as always, most of my reading on here is fiction. The only non-fiction that I've got on my summer reading list at the moment is another nature memoir. That's the kind of my favourite kind of non-fiction to read. I've mentioned that before, and I wrote a post about nature memoirs that is free, so I'll link that down below on my Substack in case you want to read that. But this one I've had on my TBR for ages. It is H is for Hawk, and I think this is one of the first, I won't say one of the first nature memoirs, but it's definitely one of the ones that's been around for the longest. I think it was published in 2014, and I think nature memoirs and probably nature content in general has like gone off since post-COVID, because a lot of people, you know, connected with nature more and more interested in that kind of content. So this kind of predated that, and it's about this woman, Helen's relationship with a hawk that she ends up buying and bonding with, and I think it's to do with how her relationship with the hawk has changed her and fed into helping her heal with problems with her own life. I'm not entirely sure. I've been put off a little bit, in all honesty, reading this, only because I'm not keen on keeping animals in captivity a huge amount. But I don't know the context at all, so I think it was worth reading, and a lot of people talk about this. So yeah, I'll let you know what I think about this one. And then I've been saving this one. I picked this one up from a thrift shop in the winter probably. It's a very summery looking book. I think it's just like a general fiction, but it says it's a place where plans are formed and secrets are shared. The Garden Cafe is nestled in the heart of a town in Lisbon on Ireland's west coast. So it sounds like a very cosy summer read. There's going to be some romance in there. So I think there's like two main characters, two women I think, Jazz and Hannah. And Jazz, I think she runs the cafe and has had issues with her family, and secrets have come out about her parents' marriage that she's dealing with, but then she starts developing feelings for a man that's strictly off limits. And then we follow Hannah's story as well, and she's a librarian, and her ex-husband turns up and she's starting to wonder about why she's keeping his secrets and whether that's the best plan. And then a long lost book is uncovered in a garden, so that's always good. So there's a whole mix of stuff in here. Don't really know what it's about, but it definitely looks like ideal for the summer. And I definitely read more romance in the summer. Barely touch it, to be honest, outside the spring summer. But I think I mentioned this in the vlog before, so I won't go on about it too much. This is when I went book shopping in Venice. I picked this one up, and it's not based on the movie. It's now a movie as well on Netflix, and it's straddling two different timelines where a journalist finds a letter essentially from the 1960s that a man wrote to this woman asking her to leave her husband for him, and then this woman ends up in a car accident. I can't remember anything. At least I think that's what I remember it being about. So yeah, it's just a romance essentially, and I like the fact that it's got two different timelines. I tend to prefer that to a lot of my books, but especially romances. I think it gives it a little bit more intrigue. And this one I ended up picking up in Oban. I wouldn't say this one is especially summery. I'm not sure when it's set. Look at the cover. Oh. It's really gorgeous, The Lost Storyteller. And this is about a character, Rebecca, who is estranged from her dad. I'm not sure if her dad's missing or has died, but anyway, she wants to look for answers about her father, and she finds a book of fairy tales that he wrote and dedicated to her. And I think it's about figuring out if these fairy tales are all fantasy or if there's actually some truth in it. So basically it's a sense of mystery. I love anything to do with fairy tales. I just read a really good book. Well, yeah, a good book. I'm not sure I'll say really good book. A good book of a Cinderella retelling called The Shadow in the Glass, and it's like a dark twist on the Cinderella story. So anything like that I really enjoy. I love anything sort of gothic mystery, so this should be great. And then I haven't read a Marianne Keyes yet this year, so I always have one at least I read a year, usually a couple. So this is the one I've picked up for the summer. It's The Brightest Star in the Sky, and primarily saved it for summer because it says it's set in June. And I think it's based in a particular house, actually, probably in Ireland, I'm guessing. Marianne Keyes is Irish and a lot of her books are end up based in Ireland or with Irish characters, and it's about this mysterious visitor that turns up and how they interact with, I think, the other residents of this property. I might be wrong, it's actually quite a vague blurb for Marianne Keyes. It looks a little bit more like it's maybe got more mystery in it than normal. I would say her stuff is generally just sort of general fiction, maybe into sort of the romance rom-com. Yeah, they're always nice chunky books, but I get through them really quickly because she's such an easy read, and it's been a while since I read one of hers, so I'm looking forward to that. This is the one I am most excited to read. I think come June this will be the first one I do read. It's The Cloisters. You maybe heard of it. I know a lot of you said you've read it when I mentioned it. I got it. I was very good. I got it, I think, again in the winter or the beginning of this year, and I said in that video that I'm not sure I'll be able to wait till the summer, but I have, because this is set in the summer. But it's a gothic tale, and I love that kind of content, but you don't find as many set in the summer, so I'm really excited about this one. And it follows this character that ends up working in New York, and she ends up working in the Cloisters, which is the Met's Gothic Museum and Garden. And I think essentially it's about her experience with the other people that work there and the kind of theories they have, including tarot cards, and she ends up finding this what was thought to be lost deck of tarot cards, and then things basically end up spiraling out of control. So it sounds right up my street. I am buzzing to read this one, so I'll definitely feedback. So that's my wee summer book haul. As always, I'm happy to chat back books in the comments, so do let me know what you've been reading recently, what you've been enjoying. And I think I'm going to wrap up the vlog here, so thank you very much for watching, guys. Remember, if you want to check out Ritual, then you can find the information and the link in my description down below, and I will see you next time.